4-mana leak to go along with his Gut Shots, Vapor Snags, Probes, and Ponders. And of course, 8 Seachrome Coasts among the 2 decks. Interesting to know, in Milton's sideboard, he has unsummons. So he has 6 unsummon effects, 6 Vapor Snag effects between the main deck and the sideboard.
Turn 1, Bret Farrell lays a Doomed Traveler. No, is that a champion?
Doom Traveler.
Okay, there's a Doomed Traveler. Couldn't tell for a second.
Yep. And Milton?
Milton Figueroa.
I like his islands.
That looks like a pretty old school island.
It is. Plays an island and a Phantasmal Bear. So Milton's 1-drop, more powerful than Bret's right now. 2-2 versus 1-1. We'll see if Milton can follow it up with a Lord for the full lock.
We're going to see perhaps a Honor the Pure. Yes, Honor the Pure, in for 2.
Milton, of course, does not block that.
I might have considered blocking there, honestly.
Really?
I think that Milton is going to be on the back foot.
Especially paying 2 life for attacks.
Yeah. Now at 16, Milton Figueroa gets to see what his opponent has. Looks like Arbiter, Geist, Doomed Traveler number 2.
Right, those are abolishers.
Or did I say abolisher? Sorry.
So, can't actually cast any of those except Doomed Traveler right now. He desperately needs a Seachrome Coast or a Glacial Fortress. Or Plains. And then he'll draw a card off his Probe. It's like a Glacial Fortress. And I see a Vapor Snag in his hand along with a Sword of War and Peace. Can't really tell the rest. Attacks for 2 with his bear, bringing Bret to 18. The life total is 16-18 right now. And now we have a Snapcaster, flashing back Probe, bringing Milton to 14. So, inflicting a lot of damage on himself right now. Let's hope he doesn't have to gut shot too many times, or this could get very painful very quickly.
Looks like there might have been a island, or
Hero was drawn by Bret, it looks
I thought I saw an island, but it was not. You're right. In for the Doomed Traveler. Milton takes it. He's going for a race.
He is. I don't know if that's really wise against this kind of opponent right here. An opponent who can only cast 1 of the spells in his hand. And there's a Geist. So the Sword of War and Peace in Milton's hand is going to make it really hard for Bret. And if I'm Milton right now, I think I'd just play Sword and trade that bear for one of those Doomed Travelers.
Absolutely. Just keep my life up so that next turn the Snapcaster can start doing some work.
Exactly. And Bret draws the Seachrome Coast. So that'll allow him to play either a Geist or a Grand Abolisher, but neither one of those are going to be able to block a Snapcaster with a Sword. And that's going to take huge chunks, but more importantly, that's going to let Milton gain a lot of life.
And we're going to see...
Wow,
wow, Milton just takes
block.
it.
That's bold.
Wow. Geist.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. So Milton,
I mean, when is Milton going to finally block with that bear?
When he's at 2 life, maybe. So Milton draws a card. And looks like he's about to play his Moorland Haunt, but don't do that before you equip the Sword, Milton. And attack. Good.
There we go.
Wow, the bear too. That is...
He does not realize, I think, that the bear is just dead.
No, he doesn't.
Oh.
But neither does Bret, perhaps.
Honor the Pure has no abilities. It's just sitting out there.
Wow, okay. So, it looks like Bret's going to be taking a grand total of 6 plus 9 damage, bringing his life total to 9, and Milton gains a good amount. We'll find out how much for you in a sec.
And Image kills the Geist.
And Bret draws a Plains. Again, too little, too late. I think he's just about dead to that Sword. It's he's 2 attacks away here.
Bret does have Oblivion Rings in his deck.
Right. He has 2 O-Rings in the main deck. And that is, I believe, his only answer to Sword of War and Peace, except Dismember. That is it. He will gain access to 2 Lean and Relic Border after sideboard, but not until then. So Bret trying to decide his best course of action, what play gives him the best chance of winning the game. And unfortunately for him, I don't know if there are any.
I mean, essentially right now, what Bret has to do is he has to survive this coming turn, empty out his hand as much as he possibly can, and then top deck something like an Oblivion Ring for that sword.
Right. So that's exactly what he does. He attacks with his Doom Travelers, bringing Milton to 10 life, plays Plains Hero of Bladehold, setting himself up to only take 6 damage.
Vapor Snag,
oh,
that's enough,
wow.
I think, to end it all.
That is. So as it turns out, that Phantasmal Bear that we thought should have traded long ago helps steal the final points.
I don't know that is actually a part of what the narrative of this game is.
No, me neither. Interesting coincidence, though.
I mean, like, Bret should have killed that bear, you know.
Yep, exactly. But either way, Milton takes the game on the back of Sword of War and Peace.
Yeah.
Card we've been talking about all day, just super powerful card. It just generates such swings. Almost like a a big Exalted Angel, actually.
Right. And, you know, it's funny because I know when Sword of War and Peace, the name was spoiled, but we didn't know what it was. Evan Irwin made one of my favorite jokes about that moment where he was like, yeah, it should just be a card that's all text. And I think that's a funny joke. But
those of you who have read Tolstoy's War and Peace would get that. The rest of you left in the dark.
Yes. From the sideboard, Bret Farrell. I'm going to be willing to bet we're going to see the possibility of timely reinforcements making an appearance. He has seen from his opponent now Sword of War and Peace. He has his own Sword of War and Peace, but he's in a Sword of War and Peace war. So Oblivion Ring is a good card to bring in, and Gideon Jura is a great card in this kind of quasi-mirror fight.
Right, yeah. Gideon is definitely a mirror breaker because even if you equip a sword and attack, you do not get the sword's bonuses.
Yes.
Because it does not deal combat damage to an opponent, it deals combat damage to a planeswalker. So I definitely agree with O-Ring, I definitely agree with Gideon Jura. Dismember? I think we'll probably see Dismember. Well, definitely we won't see the mana leaks. Lean and Relic Warder? I can only imagine we'll see that one.
That seems like a very reasonable card.
Especially since he just lost to Sword of War and Peace. Interesting, though, that Sword of War and Peace, those are the only targets.
Yeah.
Still worth it, I think.
What do you think about Grand Abolisher in this matchup?
Well, I think Bret has to figure out how Milton's going to sideboard, because if he takes out mana leaks, it becomes downright bad. But if he doesn't, it's probably pretty good.
I actually even like the Grand Abolisher only against the other instance, just because even if it's just Gutshot and Vapor Snag and things like that, probably not Gutshot, but if, Vapor Snag, knowing that they can't do anything on your turn,
right,
can be very valuable. Especially
with a card like Geist of St. Traff, Mirroring Crusader, just these big threats that if they connect, they're good, but if they don't, you've invested a ton of mana. So I think I can agree with that. I expect Bret to cut some of his top end.
Yeah.
Like Hero of Bladehold, especially. That guy costs 4 mana and just gets Vapor Snagged, I think.
Well, Hero of Bladehold is a very interesting card in this matchup because it's absolutely terrible if the game goes the way your opponent wants, but it is one of the cards that can utterly bring you back into a game that you were losing.
Right. It's in its own class of cards like that. Like Titan's Hero of Bladehold, Wormcoil Engine.
Right.
Yeah. What do you feel, how do you feel about Mirroring Crusader then?
I don't like Mirroring Crusader. I don't think it does very much.
No.
I mean, it's a good defender, but in theory, you should be able to trade with it anyway. And if not, already have something that can defend against their creatures.
Right.
Your creatures should be big.
I agree. 3 for a 2/2 double strike with no other abilities. Just probably not what you really want to be doing. I could definitely see taking out those. How do you feel about Honor of the Pure?
I love Honor of the Pure in this matchup, actually.
Yeah,
one of the things
too.
is that Moorland Haunt, your Moorland Haunts are so much better than your opponent's.
Right. I think that's one of the key points of that. Mana Leak, I'd imagine Mana Leak's going to come out.
That one Mana Leak is not a very good weapon in this fight.
No, it stops Sword of War and Peace, but at the same time, you're citing in multiple answers to that card. I don't think you need it. So that's probably what will happen on Bret Farrell's side. Looking to Milton Figueroa's, his sideboard contains a pair of Dissipates, a Negate, a Flash Freeze, 3 Timely Reinforcements, 2 Oblivion Ring, 1 Sword of War and Peace, 1 Phantasmal Image, 1 Mentor of the Meek, 1 Stitch Drake, and 2 Unsummon.
My expectation is that we're going to see the Sword of War and Peace come in from the board. We're also going to see Mentor of the Meek come in from the board so that he can grind out a long game. And I think that he actually is going to bring in Phantasmal Image because there's a couple of things it can do. One, it can copy a Fiend Hunter from his opponent, which is not an unreasonable card to expect to see. If his opponent does stay big and keep hero, it can make his own hero so that you can fight against the heroes that way. And then he does not know whether his opponent has tappers or not. This deck often has tappers. There's only 1 tapper in Bret Farrell's deck, but if it's out, he can copy it. I think there's just a lot of utility from that Phantasmal Image.
I definitely like that. Do you think we'll see Timely Reinforcements?
I think he clearly perceives himself as the aggressor.
Right.
So as such, I don't think we're going to see Timely Reinforcements. I actually think the matchup is more complicated than that when it comes to the role that each of these players is going to play. And I think who's the aggressor and who is defender is very possible to change multiple times in the match.
In the game, even.
Yeah, in the game. That's what I meant to say, in the game.
I definitely agree. I mean, you can usually say which deck's the beatdown and which deck isn't, but these two have so much back and forth, so many tempo cards, I don't think you can really say it.
Here we go, a turn 1 Doomed Traveler. Turn 1 Delver.
So both players have the turn 1 that they so desperately need. Have to have a 1-drop to sort of keep up in this matchup.
Turn 2 Honor the Peer, one of the most important cards in this matchup for the human deck.
Brings Milton to 18 life and does not flip Delver. That's pretty big. Each turn that Delver doesn't flip is huge. Milton has another island.
Delver.
Ooh.
Delver. Yeah, it is Delver.
Yeah, that works.
Trips Delver.
Wow, so
it's either going to be very good or very bad for him.
This upkeep is going to be a sweat. So Bret now doesn't know what to do. Because
you attack.
It's so hard to combat 3/1/1s or 3/2 flyers. You don't know what's going to happen. But
and
yeah.
Milton definitely takes it, which is correct.
Yeah, no double blocks here.
What are you going to do, Bret? Bret wants to unload in a similar fashion. Looks like he's got a champion.
And just says go, holds up a potential Mana Leak.
And does not reveal what would have been, I think it's the far left card in his hand.
Phantasmal Bear, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Can't attack. Does that resolve?
If this is a Ponder, okay. Phantasmal Bear. That's going to soak up some damage. Just wait for those Delvers to flip. That is obviously Milton's plan here.
Okay, Mana Leak from Bret. I'm really shocked. That Mana Leak is probably going to be fairly okay. Well, that's not true. It'll only be okay if Milton fails to flip his Delvers.
Right. Which is pretty unlikely, as Milton has 12, 16, the full 20 spells.
The full 20.
So, wow, Milton does not block.
Hey, good game.
Uh-oh. Bret shaking his head as he suddenly faces down 12 flying
He's like, you don't have to do that. No, really.
No, like, I'm dead.
I'm doing it. I'm flipping them all.
So we see 4 flip Delvers on turn 4.
It's pretty funny.
Oh my.
Here they come.
12.
14.
Smile.
He's
laughing at his opponent.
Feels good.
Dismember. Bret laughing, knows that he's lost this game. Having a good time still. He's going to keep fighting, though. That Moreland Kant can definitely delay the inevitable here. 5th Delver. No, Milton is going to Ponder. The Fish Ponder.
Fishy Ponder. That's kind of suspect.
It is. Lorwyn.
Milton, you hear me? You're suspect. Get a Fishy Ponder.
We'll have to talk to him in his post-win interview about that. So, debating he does Mana Leak the Ponder.
And he follows up with a bear. Bret, Farrell just laughing like, well, I guess that's going to be it. Now, a Gideon Jura actually could spell a whole fog for him.
Yeah, there's the hand. Bret, of course, loses that one, featuring 4 Delver of Secrets. The man on the left, Milton Figueroa, will be top-8ing this tournament, and that man is blessed, at least for the last game. 4 flipped Delvers on turn 4. That is impressive. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I have not seen that.
Yeah. The man, understandably happy, has just made top 8. Laughing
like,
about it.
Yes, that was very good.
He's just admitting to his opponent, yep, I got pretty lucky, but hey, that's part of the game. They're both having a laugh about it.
Okay, so if we have the opportunity, what we're going to do is we're going to bring you another match.
Yeah, we are. But in the meantime, I wanted to let you know that SCG Live is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, producer of the world's most advanced Magic the Gathering app, SCG Mobile. The app is now free, and you can start accessing StarCityGames.com content from your iPhone instantly. But beyond the basic options, a simple in-app upgrade of $4.99 unlocks an ad-free experience and expanded functionality, including live pricing, player profiles, and premium content access with an existing account. For more information, you can, of course, go to StarCityGames.com or search for SCG Mobile in the App Store.
I'm really, really looking forward to the moment that I can get that on my little Android.
Yeah. I'm counting down the days. I don't know how long the countdown's going to be, Evan, but I can tell you
Evan.
that it is pretty soon. It's in the works, and it'll be here pretty soon.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, like, when it comes to all of these really cool technology toys that keep on kind of coming up and helping us with Magic, I know that one of the things that I'm always looking forward to are those things that make it easier for me to do deck building, you know, and make it easier for me to
read articles on the go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, the deck building thing for me is one of the things I like to do on the go. It's like, I have my pad of paper with me, and I write down a lot of stuff, and maybe I'll have a spoiler list with me, and I'll be like looking at my like 6-point font, but not having to do that will be nice.
Right. Welcome to the 21st century, friend.
Oh, the way that I've been building decks on the go has been improved.
Yes. So in case you guys are just joining us, I'm Zach Hall here with Adrian Sullivan. We're here at the StarCityGames.com Open Series, first stop in Atlanta, Georgia. We just completed round 10, well, almost completed round 10 of Day 1 Standard. We're trying to get you another match. We're going to see if any are going to Game 3 at the moment. And if so, we're going to get that on camera. But also stay tuned to Twitter, SCG Live, there it is, SCG Live. Make sure you tune in because we're going to be putting the top 8 names right there for you.
I always struggle with trying to figure out where to point.
It's tough.
Over there.
I know how to point at you. That's about it.
I can point at you. Yeah. That's pretty easy.
There we go.
It's the whole mirror image thing.
Yeah. So if you want to use the hashtag SCG Live or the hashtag SCGATL, use that. It'll allow us to see it better. Also, if you want to tweet at us specifically, he's Adrian L. Sullivan. I am ZC Hall.
Right. What's your C?
C is Christopher.
Christopher.
Yeah.
It was the name of my best friend growing up.
Very cool. We're kindred spirits.
It's true.
Me and Christopher. By accident of naming.
Now, we talked earlier about sort of War and Peace as a card that's going to be a player in this, in this top 8. And we just saw the last couple of rounds. The last 3 matches we've seen have all had Sword of War and Peace involved.
They have, and they've all. I'm not going to say they've all been decided. 2 certainly have, but yeah, it's certainly a powerful card.
Yeah.
It's just a card that if it connects once, the game is likely just over.
Yeah, and now we did not see Sword of War and Peace hit play in the last run, but it was in that player's deck list.
Right. So definitely pretty good. You know, I'm interested to see what the overall record of Chrome Coast deck were in our feature matches. Because we've actually kept track for you guys.
Huh. That's a good question. Well, looking at the initial data, I can say beyond a doubt that a Chrome Coast deck has won nearly every round.
Wow.
It lost 1 round, but won all of the other rounds.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and now the thing that's important to note is that the exception to this is that, not the exception, the footnote to this is that Chrome Coast decks have lost more than that one round because there have been a lot of Chrome Coast mirrors.
Mirror match. So not really most accurate because they were sort of guaranteed to win some of the rounds. So.
But they did win all but one.
That's one way you could put it.
They also lost.
They certainly lost a lot,
whole bunch
too.
of them as well.
Right. So can we get an update possibly on the Heartless Summoning pod deck?
No, well, let's find out actually.
Yeah.
What was that young gentleman's name?
The Young Miser.
The Young Miser.
Here he is.
There he is.
James Bravo. James Broad. The awesome Massacre Worm. Oh, I'm praying for a low table number here.
Let's see what he got. If he's still playing. I saw him walking around earlier. This was the small child that won in handy fashion by top decking a swamp on turn 2.
To cast Heartless Summoning Mir Superion. I wish I'd been there to see it.
Okay.
B-R-A-U-D.
Table 38.
So
he's probably maybe 2 losses or X2-1.
Probably. He
Something
was
like that.
X01, so if he could finish X21, that's a pretty respectable finish if you're 12 years old.
I don't know if he's even that old.
Yeah, probably not.
I think he's maybe younger than that yet.
I don't think I went to a Magic tournament when I was 12.
Magic was not out when I was 12.
Oh. If you want to do the math on that one, tweet us at SCG Live with guesses there. My first Magic tournament was a JSS on my 16th birthday, which they did not let me play in.
Right.
My first, my first real competitive tournament.
My first Magic tournament that I thought was competitive was in the basement of a game shop.
Ooh, yeah.
And I lost in the finals.
Wow.
To somebody that actually was the only player in the room that had a real constructed deck.
And a clue.
I thought my deck was a real constructed deck, and about a month later I moved to Madison, Wisconsin, and really just pretty much had myself... I got stomped again and again by one of the better players in the area, and he told me later that he didn't want to stop playing me because I had that look like if he walked away and didn't give me a chance to finally win a game, that I would kill him.
Right.
So he just sat there and shuffled while I lost to him again and again and again.
At least the games probably didn't take very long.
I got crushed
Yeah.
again and again and again.
My first deck at my local game store featured Thorn Elemental. As I was really proud of that deck. I really was. Lana Orell's Thorn Elementals, turn 6.
Mine
That's a good
featured
Thorn Elemental.
4 Black Vice and 4 Unsummoned.
Oh, come on, that's not fair. What? If you haven't read Black Vice, go read it. Your jaw will drop.
4 Black Vice, 4 Strip Mine.
You're a fun Magic player. We're actually just discussing this. His style of deck building is just to make the opponent have as little fun as possible. Griefer.
One of my favorite decks of all time was Stasis. That's a good one. That's fun Magic.
Stasis, yeah. You really have to plan for 20 turns ahead. Same with land tax, right?
I don't know if I've ever played land tax actually in a tournament format.
I've only played it in Cube.
Yeah.
And boy, is it a beating.
But yeah, I mean, one question that Joey Pasco asked me a while back. This is maybe 5 tournaments ago, 5 Star City Games live events ago. He asked me, what is your favorite Magic creature of all time?
Okay.
And I thought and couldn't come up with one. I was like, Wall of Roots? Is that my favorite creature of all time? And then I eventually realized, no, it's not Goblin Welder, it's not Wall of Roots, it's Dwarven Blast Miner.
Ooh.
Because it is just perfect. It fits exactly how I like to play, which is to not let my opponent play.
Fair enough. Just have them be as frustrated as possible, and
Right.
then quit in a fit of rage.
So angry. What is your favorite Magic creature?
Wow, that's a difficult question. It's not a competitive creature. It's probably Mog Assassin.
Mog Assassin. Why
Yeah.
Mog Assassin?
It's fun because back in the day we used to play a lot of multiplayer.
Right.
If you're not familiar with Mog Assassin, and you shouldn't be because it's completely random.
It's awesome.
It's a red and 2 for a 2/1 goblin. You tap and flip a coin. You choose a creature, and that creature's controller chooses a creature. Whoever wins the flip, the creature that they chose dies. So in multiplayer, it's great because their opponent's creature, or because the person you choose, they're not going to choose Mog Assassin. It's just not a good card. They're going to choose some other great creature. So you flip a coin, and whichever way it happens, you win. And it's a sweet card.
Okay, so out there in the Twitterverse, you can talk with us about what your favorite creature of all time is as well. So we've got Mog Assassin over here for Zach. I am Dwarven Blast Miner. That's my favorite guy. Who's your favorite guy?
Yeah.
Let us know.
I want to hear.
And let us know why, too, you know?
It's
Is it like... Because there's nothing wrong with Tarmogoyf being your favorite creature, or Dark Confidant. It's a little bit boring in certain ways,
Sure.
but also it can speak to what you like. I mean, if you're asking, like, say, 3 Magic players, hey, Dark Confidant, Tarmogoyf, or Stoneforge Mystic, you can learn a little bit about them when they say which one they like.
Styles.
You know, like, you learn a little bit about me when you learn that Blast Miner is my favorite.
Right. Exactly. So tell us the why of it. Don't say Blightsteel Colossus. Adrian will get upset.
Blightsteel Colossus is one of the most offensive creatures of all time.
Like I said, he'll get upset. So no more mentions of that.